So it wasn't more like about the company. It was more of just like, I will go. Just a stepping stone. Just let me get inside.
So actually, but the company you chose, there wasn't anything special
No.
about it. It was just,
No.
okay, this is my foot in. I don't care where I'm. And
Yes. I mean, I looked at like hierarchy of top, I don't know, 20, whatever. And I chose, that was my first job. And they were Russian speakers, you know, they seemed to have very good marketing. I was blown away by all the videos. I've never seen anything like this. So I was like, okay, screw it. You know, let's try.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
So you're now in a completely different industry. As you said, you've never sold anything in your life.
Never, yeah.
What are you thinking? What's your game plan? What's your strategy?
Yeah,
to go with it?
Honestly, I just came in and I am not an introvert, but I was never the first one to talk. So I would never approach someone and start conversation. But that pushed me even more to grow as a person. So I just started talking to the colleagues and I'm like, what do you do? What's that? What's that? You know, like just as a kid, coming and asking everything. I was probably in my manager's office every 10 minutes. And as I understood, I'm like, oh, okay, this makes sense. This is the resource, whatever. And then again, I started talking to my dad and I'm like, Dad, I don't know. You know, I want to be my own boss, but will I be able to do it here? Like, is that the right choice? And my dad told me, go read Robert Kiyosaki. And I was like, okay. So I went and I read Rich Dad, Poor Dad. And then I read Investment, How to Invest. And then he's like, okay, go read Grant Cardone. Go watch, at least. I'm like, okay. So I did that. I read 10X, whatever. And I'm like, Dad, I don't understand. Like, what are you trying to tell me? And he's like, listen, if you want to own a McDonald's, what's the best way to approach it? I'm like, I don't know. Like, go find someone who's selling a franchise. He's like, no. He's like, to understand the business, you have to be inside. You want to understand how McDonald's work? Go work in McDonald's. And I was like, And then he's like, remember Monopoly? I'm like, yeah. He's like, this is life. And he's like, the more you understand about properties, cash flow, finances, this is where you're going to end up. So if you want to own properties, hotels, buildings, whatever, you have to know this. If you don't know, you will never, ever be able to be successful. No one will be able to take you seriously. And I was like, And I was like, smart.
So how long was that learning period for you? Did you say, okay, this is study time? And were you still focusing on sales, or were you like, no, I'm going to learn, I'm going to get a degree in this and then start to sell? Was it a studied period for you? Or?
I've never considered it to be a steady period because I think I don't have time.
Got you.
Ever since I got here, I'm like, you know what? I'm going to sell and I'm going to learn as I sell. My first sale, my first rent, this is where I learned the most. No matter how much I read, no matter what I analyzed, once you're in front of the person, only then you know how to pitch. And I'm a strong believer in the fact that pitches that like a lot of agencies are teaching consultants to do, it doesn't work.
Why? What's wrong with the pitches?
Because it's standard. I'm just thinking from my perspective, okay? If somebody approached me with the same, hi, how are you? Want to buy property? I'll be like, no. Or if somebody came to me and like, yeah, you should buy MR because it's MR. I'll be like, no. Like, it just doesn't work, you know? I would never be comfortable or even interested if somebody approached me that way. So why should I do it to someone else?
So what was your approach? What did you learn? Or what worked for you the best? Because I definitely believe that you learn a lot more from losses than wins.
Right, of course.
And a lot of people are very scared for the losses and avoid anything where they're going to lose, therefore they don't grow, they don't learn. Whereas if you do just go in head first, every time you get a no, you start to kind of analyze and work out. So what did work for you?
For me, just the basics, honestly. I became friends my goal was not to sell. You know, my goal was not to come and pick up my commission, because I knew that once people trust me, this will come. This is just like an extra bonus.
So actually building relationships is the key.
Of course. And everybody keeps saying that, but not everyone understands it. You know,
what do you think that is? Why?
Because people are desperate.
Okay, it's desperation.
Yeah. And I understand, like, there's nothing wrong with it, but you have to kind of pick yourself up and also have pride. You cannot be like, you're not a salesperson. You're not someone who's like, you are in customer service, but you're not a customer service representative. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, if you actually know your stuff, you know numbers, you can analyze things to the point where you're able to make the right decision for yourself, someone should be able to see that value in you.
Got you.
And people never like to be sold. Nothing.
Of course.
You know, even in Dubai Mall, if people are like at the stand, come, smell this, hi. No.
Yeah.
You will tell them, go away. So it's the same thing.
Okay, so how long have you been doing it now?
2.5 years.
What was the first big milestone?
Yeah, the first actually was, it was 3 months in. So my time at was very short. I didn't like it. I switched. I went to didn't like it either. It just wasn't my cup of tea. Then I went to because I had friends there. And yeah, 3 months in, or like, no, actually, I think it's even less. I think 1 or 2 months in, my biggest deal came through, and it was like over 70 million in 1 hour. It was at 8 p.m. I was meeting a friend that I met through another friend at dinner. I just saw them with his partner in the elevator in Marina Plaza. So they exchanged numbers. They're like, hi, whatever. And the next day, he's like, I want to take a look, because he was looking for his friend who was not even here. So automatically, there was no expectation for me or for him to buy anything. You know, I never even expected it. I just said, okay, let's say John, he's looking for this. Why don't you propose this one to him? We went, I think, at 7:30. We stayed there until 9. We closed like 7 units. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. And it was all only because this guy and his partner didn't see in me the fact that I want to sell.
Got you.
Because they have properties already. So that means they worked with someone else.
Got you.
You know?
So what is the biggest mistake that you see people in real estate making in Dubai?
They lift their nose up. Let's not be, quiet about it. There's big money in real estate. It's not cheap. And the commission you're getting, if you've never had money before, it's a big sum. And it's a very big temptation, especially in Dubai, to, buy a car, buy a watch, whatever. It goes so easily out just to impress someone else. But a lot of people forget that one-time success is not forever. It's actually harder. Once I reach that step, every day I'm like, if I don't do even close to this, I'm failing. And a lot of people kind of put their legs up. They say, okay, it's enough, whatever. Let me enjoy life. This is the biggest mistake I think you can make in real estate and in any job. Once you start feeling like, okay.
Comfortable. I think comfort is a big.
You stop seeking it. You stop looking for opportunities. And it doesn't happen. Because why would it happen?
I think, especially in your industry, networking is very important.
Yes.
What are the keys to networking?
I think you just have to be a good person. I really do believe that it doesn't really matter, like, who you are in terms of financial status or the circle that you're in. I just think you have to be very open to receiving that. you know. And in Dubai, and especially being a girl, I learned that very early on. You have to be very distinctive of, okay, when to say no and when to give it a chance. Because sometimes when you give it a chance, it might turn out completely different from what you expected it to be. And yeah, and that's how you get to know people. You get to know one person. You show them that, okay, you know what, I'm interested in business or whatever. This is who I am. And then later on, you get to know other people. And especially in Dubai, I feel like social media is quite heavy, more than maybe like, I don't know, more than DC, 100%.
Really?
And that helps a lot.
So you've built your social media to a really good following. How is that another thing you strategize? Is that something you really planned for, or?
So I started doing like blogging when COVID happened. So it was kind of for me like, okay, maybe I can learn how to monetize social media, right? Because I spend my time watching YouTube. Exactly. I go to YouTube if I want to learn something, you know. And Instagram is picking up and everyone's using it. And I started doing it just about lifestyle. Nothing special. But I learned how to present. For example, I put effort into how I do my stories. I put effort in what I write under the post. I put effort into what I film. So I started approaching it differently before I came to Dubai. And then in Dubai, I think I came with like 150,000. And yeah, it grew.
How quickly did you get to 150K?
Maybe like a year.
And is there any any major reasons that you can pinpoint? Of course, maybe consistency, and as you said, you took a lot of effort into these little bits and pieces. But was there any other things that kind of?
I was just with people that are present, like people that people know of.
Got you.
With like millions of subscribers.
Okay, so yeah.
So, of course, that was the first point of someone clicking on it, seeing me there.
And then
who is that? And then they transfer. But it was hard because at that point I didn't talk much about real estate on my page, you know, and I didn't showcase what I am actually. So the retention was smaller.
Got you.
But it got the name out.
Got you. Okay, so now maybe more onto future things. What are you planning? What's the strategy and the plan for the future now?
Yeah, listen, I don't like to talk much about like big plans. I don't like to say it until I do them because I strongly believe in evil eye, intentional or not intentional. It's there. And I don't like to overpromise or say something, which then if I don't deliver, I will feel bad.
So it's more, how do you say, personal goals.
So I can say that, okay, in the future, of course, I see myself closing more deals and building up my own portfolio bigger. And I want to shape the real estate industry from what it is now to a bit more of a professional, because living in US, of course, there is real estate as well there, you know, but it's completely different. What I saw in Dubai is a zoo. It is a zoo and it's not regulated to the point that it should be. There's still room to grow. And a lot of people treat this job as just an easy way to make money because they think it's, you know, you just come connect to people and then that's it. That's how you make your buck. I want to show not only to agents, but also to people who are investing here that there's a difference to real estate. There is a difference between being a broker and being an actual expert.
Got you.
So that's why, you know, I love doing like analysis and trends and insights and numbers, because that's what makes you an expert. not saying how beautiful this home is. Everyone knows that it's beautiful.
Got you. And I guess that goes with that helps with trust again,
Yes,
right?
yes.
Because
It's
the
credibility.
second somebody hears
Yeah.
you,
Yeah, it's credibility.
you're not selling homes now at the moment, are you? You're still selling homes because you said off camera that you're doing something slightly different.
Yeah, I mean, if the client wants, who am I to tell them no, right? Like if my client comes to me and says, I want to relocate, of course I will be able to help them. But this is not my forte because I'm very straightforward and I like facts. When you choose a home, you don't look at facts, you look at how you feel.
It's more
Can you
emotional
envision
and-
it?
yeah.
You know, like, will your kids like it? I am not a magician. I don't have a magic wand. I cannot replace this, do this, whatever the client wants. So for me, I enjoy personally investments. You do it solely for money.
Got you.
That's it. Yeah.
And I guess that works with the data and
Yes, of
everything that you're
course.
kind of
Yeah.
into, right?
Yeah.
Where do you see the Dubai real estate industry going? I know you said you're trying to shape it,
Yeah.
but from everything you've seen in the last couple of years, where do you see it going? I mean, it feels super oversaturated. It feels like there is
Too
a
much,
million real estate agents.
Yeah.
And I think that is partly because all of them, some, if not all of the roles are zero salary and 100% commission. So essentially, there is no, there's no limit. Anyone can do it.
Yeah.
So where do you see it moving in
I
the next
think-
few years?
Listen, there's two paths, economically and like as an industry, right? As an industry itself, I think a lot of newly established companies will close. We already see that. And a lot of agents, if they start to implement stronger rules and regulations, these agents will not be able to survive. You know, I think before COVID, you didn't have to take a test for RERA, like to get a broker's license because they suspended it or something. So in that time, imagine how many people came. And what do they know?
Yeah.
Nothing. Right? Or like
Yeah.
5%.
Barely. Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm sure that they're going to do that because it's a big, big issue. Because it ruins the credibility for Dubai.
Got you.
You know?
Yeah.
So I think it's going to change and I think it's going to become strict. Because
Okay.
right now it's not.
And I guess with it becoming more strict, the quality should get better, I guess, or
It should, but it's more of, it's like Darwin's law. You know, the strongest will survive.
survival of the fittest. Yeah. Got you.
Yeah.
Man, I can't imagine. The thing is, there's literally so many here.
Yeah.
It's just, and also there's so many people who are coming here to do it as well.
Yeah.
It's in their future plans. So
Yeah.
it'd be interesting to see it more streamlined. Dubai is Dubai is relatively a small city compared to other
Yes.
cities. How big do you see it becoming physically? Because there's a lot of desert and people seem to be building a lot. You might know some inside things about what's being built. How big do you see it becoming?
I mean, it's not an inside information. It's a 2040 vision, right, of the Sheikh. So Dubai, I'm sure it's going to span from the border of Abu Dhabi to another border.
Okay.